Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 4th of July, 2023, Independence Day. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1. The S&P ASX 200 got a boost this afternoon after the Reserve Bank of Australia left the benchmark interest rate on hold, saying it wanted more time to determine the course of future rate moves. But the central bank still has a bias to higher rates. The decision to pause helped the local bourse finish 0.5% higher at 7,279 points. The energy stocks did well, so too some of the interest rate sensitive sectors like financials and real estate. Commonwealth Bank led the way, jumping 1.3%, while National Australia Bank, Westpac and ANZ all rose more than 1%. Woodside Energy also outperformed, as did the gold companies Newcrest Mining and Northern Star Resources. Among the underperformers were Brambles, Fortescue Metals, Rio Tinto, BHP, Wesfarmers and Telstra. The battery metal stocks did well, while the worst on the day was Domain, which fell 3.4%, and the Star Entertainment Group, which dropped more than 2%. Bond markets reacted quickly to the interest rate announcement this afternoon. They're now pricing in a 60% chance of an increase in 4 weeks' time at the August Reserve Bank Board meeting, and a 90% chance that rates will be higher by the end of the September board meeting. Story number 2, Foreign Minister Penny Wong says the government will support people exercising their right to freedom of speech after Hong Kong officials placed a bounty on an Australian democracy campaigner. Hong Kong police have offered rewards for the arrests of 8 overseas-based activists after accusing them of national security offences. The activists include Australian Kevin Yam. Wong said she had expressed Australia's concerns about the far-reaching national security laws in Hong Kong and their broad application. The senator said the government will support individuals who express their political view peacefully. Reports say that Hong Kong police have issued arrest warrants for bounties worth 1 million Hong Kong dollars, that's about 200,000 Aussie, for Yam and another Australian resident, Ted Hu. Meanwhile, Indonesian President Joko Widodo is in Australia today, meeting Prime Minister Anthony Albanese as well as business leaders. Story number 3, a New York private equity firm has bid $1.6 billion for Costa Group, Australia's biggest horticultural company. Payne Schwartz Partners made the $3.50 a share bid at the end of May, and when the bid was confirmed yesterday, Costa's share price jumped 12%, though it's up substantially more than that since late May. Costa said talks with Payne are expected to continue through most of July. The group also provided a trading update today, saying the return of warmer weather and lower rainfall is a positive for its operations, which of course includes growing citrus, berries, avocados, tomatoes, grapes and mushrooms. Story number 4 is somewhat related. The Rural Bank's Australian Agricultural Mid-Year Outlook was released today, and it forecasts that expected total production this year will come in lower than last season. Mind you, last season was a good one. The drier weather, post-La Nina, isn't as good for most rural producers, it seems. In the world of cattle and beef, restocking will ease somewhat over the next half year, while rising supply will put some downward pressure on prices. Good for us consumers. It's a similar story in the sheep sector. Dairy prices remain near record levels due to weak production levels. In terms of crops, most regions across the country have been able to sow seeds the first half of this year, though an expected dry winter and spring will hurt production. And in horticulture, rising supply and strong export demand should drive record production value, even though prices are easing somewhat. And finally, story number 5, China has imposed restrictions on exporting 2 metals that are crucial to parts of the semiconductor, telco and electric vehicle industries, escalating the trade war with the US and Europe. Gallium and germanium, along with their chemical compounds, will be subject to export controls meant to protect Chinese national security starting August 1. Now, China's a dominant global producer of both metals that have applications for electric vehicle makers in particular and the defense industry. China, of course, is battling for technological dominance in everything from quantum computing to artificial intelligence and chip manufacturing. The US, for its part, has taken increasingly aggressive measures to keep China from gaining the upper hand. It's called on its allies in Europe and Asia to do the same. Will be very interesting to watch this one. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 4th of July, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.